Alright guys, so this is another fanfiction idea, and this one I thought would be kind of fun to do, just for the hell of it. And this is one I've done before, but I didn't really go, I thought it'd be kind of fun to dust it off and do, like, a different version, like to do, like an updated version of this story. And this story, what is this story exactly? Well, this story is basically Gravity Falls Team Up. So Gravity Falls Team Up is basically a series. It's more like, the idea of it is a little more like an anthology, kind of like in the vein of the Scooby-Doo Team Up comics, where they had Scooby-Doo team up with DC characters, and sometimes Hanna-Barbera and other Hanna-Barbera properties. So this story is more like I said, an anthology with all the Gravity Falls characters teaming up with story arcs with different Marvel superheroes. And anyway, so let's get started. So basically, I kind of thought it'd be kind of fun to, like, these are just random ideas I had for different team-ups. So first and foremost, let's talk about one of the first ones I thought of for this, and that is with not Spider-Man, but Venom. So the idea with the Venom team-up was that in the Venom team-up, Eddie Brock and his symbiote have felt like something calling to them across the state. And that particular place is Gravity Falls. So Eddie Brock goes there, and as Venom, he finds basically this well containing these symbiotes that were left behind eons ago when the dragon, aka the Grendel, that Thor killed, the Grendel symbiote from the Donny Cates run, the start of the Johnny Cates run, it basically, like, it was dying and flew off, and basically its corpse, bits of it broke off and became symbiotes themselves. The first Native Americans who lived in Gravity Falls contained the symbiote with, like, ancient sigils. And now the symbiote's, like, after the events of King in Black, the symbiote basically is calling out to be freed, and Eddie was the King in Black, and they're like, hey, let us out, we'll serve you. And Eddie's like, haha, I'm not doing that, I don't trust you. So what happens is, it's like, fine, we'll call somebody else. And they call out to the other symbiotes, they break them out, but however, while the other symbiotes are being gathered to break this old piece of Null out, they run into the crew from Gravity Falls, and through chicanery, the symbiotes leave their hosts and attach themselves to the Mystery Shack gang. So you have Dipper with the Riot symbiote, you have Wendy with the Scream symbiote, you have Mabel with Agony, Seuss with Phage, Stan with Lasher, and Ford is the only one who's not affected. Like, Ford's the only one who doesn't get infected. So him and Venom have to team up to separate these symbiotes from the rest of the crew, from the rest of the gang. So that was kind of the idea. I kind of had an idea if I could do this as an actual cover. My idea for the cover of this book would be that, like, it would be the Venom mouth and the character in the rest, in the Dipper and all of them, like, trying to hold the Venom mouth, like, from closing in on them. I thought that'd be, like, a cool image of, like, all of them in Venom's mouth trying to, like, hold it open. So there you go. Following that, the next story is a Wolverine team-up story, where Wolverine, it's a story set in the past where we find out back in the 20s, back in the 50s, back in the 50s, Stan, in his younger years, cheated Logan out of some money in a card game. So this whole story is set in the past with Stan more or less trying to survive a very pissed off Wolverine as Logan is chasing after him for the loss of his money. But along the way, the team, the duo run into Sabretooth, who has come looking for Logan again. So that's that story. Another one was kind of like a big, like, this one's more of a big cosmic story. Because what happens is, Ford and the others are fucking around with the alien ship that crash landed in Gravity Falls. And they're Mabel's like finagling with Seuss and Mabel are like finagling with controls, and the entire Mystery Shack gang is shot up into space. They are like thrown into space, and they're thrown directly into a conflict between the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Kree. So they have to like they end up teaming up with the Kree. I mean, excuse me, not the Kree, the Guardians of the Galaxy, who have to like help them try to get back home. But what happens is when they're on the ship, they get attacked by Terrax, and they are forced to abandon their ship. So they get thrown out into space. And what happens is they meet they meet the next cosmic character on their journey, and that is the Silver Surfer. So the Surfer offers to like give them a ride back, and he uses the power cosmic to help them breathe in space. And they're all clinging to his board as he's going through space. However, he's like, I set my cosmic awareness has brought attention to me. He has brought something. It has brought great distress to me. I must go. So they fly off, and it's Galactus preparing to eat a world. So Silver Surfer has to deal with that, and the team and the group is kind of like stuck in the middle of it. However, during all of this chaos, when Galactus is forced to leave the planet, what they don't realize is that the 6 of them got trapped on Silver Surfer, like, my friends, where did they go? I promised to take them back to Earth. And then it's realized Dipper and the rest of them are on Galactus's ship. So the following story is them meeting Galactus, who is not happy at the thought of, people living on his fucking ship. Like, what, these ants are here, and they're like, whoa, wait. If you help us, we'll help you find we'll help you find planets to eat. And Galactus is like, I've heard this 1,000 times, every time I share the power cosmic, I am betrayed. And they're like, well, what if just for this one time only, you each give us the power cosmic, and the 6 of us will go out and find one world for you. 6 worlds, and you can drop us off at Earth. He's like, fine. So he makes them all into temporary heralds of Galactus, and the 6 of them all have to, like, shoot off to find worlds. And along the way, like, Wendy battles the Super Skrull. You have Seuss, who encounters Ego, who literally is like Ego. He finds a planet, but it turns out to be Ego, who's not happy about that. Ego, the living planet. Dipper encounters Ronan the Accuser. You have Stan, who tries to con the Grandmaster. Just silly adventures, and they all end up with planets that are literally nothing to them. And Galactus is like, you guys suck, get out of here. So he takes the powers back, and he just teleports them back to Earth. Following that, but the thing is, like, when they get teleported back to the Baxter Building. So they're back on Earth, but now they're in New York. So that begins like another story arc where they're like, well, we're back on Earth, but we're in the middle of the Baxter Building. And what happens is that they get caught in the middle of a battle between Annihilus and the Fantastic Four. So they end up teaming up with the Fantastic Four. They get out, but then Dr. Doom shows up, and he's like, greetings, Pines family. You will be happy to know that you need not suffer any longer, Mason and Mabel Pines, for you are now adopted by Dr. Doom. And they're like, what? So that leaves off on the cliffhanger. So this story of Dr. Doom explains that, like, he's been watching the Pines twins secretly in Gravity Falls. Like, he initially wanted the power of Ford's portal, but then when it got destroyed, he's like, alright, c'est la vie. But these two, I want them. So Doom basically reveals that he's like been kind of like feeling his mortality, in that he understands that one day, resurrection may not happen. So he wants a worthy heir, and he's chosen the Dipper and Mabel as his heirs. But it's like, we're already kids. We're already have our parents. Like, can you adopt us like that? He's like, legally I can, in the name of Latveria. So for the story then on, Dipper and Mabel are literally adopted by Doctor Doom. So they are now like royalty of the Von Doom title. So it's kind of funny because like Mabel is now like, oh my god, I'm a princess now. Oh my god, I'm a princess. And Dipper's like, this is good. Like, I get to tool around in Doom's castle now. That's awesome. So from the story then on, it's now known that the Pines twin, like Dipper and Mabel, are now like royal heirs of Latveria. So whenever they can now like establish like diplomatic immunity when they do something wrong, and Stan brings that up. He's like, diplomatic immunity, kids, we can do anything we want. I can do whatever I want. You guys can bail me out. It's like, you are gonna abuse that. Oh, maliciously. Yeah. But of course, there's some caveats to that, because what happens is that in our following story is that when they're trying to get back to Oregon, they are targeted by Taskmaster. And Taskmaster is sent to kill the Pines twins, and this leads to the team up with Spider-Man, Peter's at the airport waiting for Mary Jane, who's been on a shoot in another state, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to pick her up, it's going to be fine. Oh shit, that's Taskmaster. What's he want with those two? Oh, it's those new twins that Dr. Doom adopted. Oh hell. So he changes into Spider-Man, into his Spider-Man costume. He teams up with them to stop Taskmaster from assassinating them, and it's revealed that Taskmaster was sent by Christophe Bernard, the original heir for Latveria that Doom adopted. But Doom was basically like, this kid sucks, I am just gonna pick someone else. There is no doubt about it. Like, this kid straight up blows ass. So that was that. So that's the end of that story. There's also the story where they're on the flight back, but the flight gets attacked by Rogue Sentinels, and this leads to a team up with the X-Men. And the Rogue Sentinels were sent by Cameron Hodge, who was trying to kill Angel, who was on that flight too. And then they're like, God, can anyone leave us alone? Or like, that was kind of the running idea, is that that Stan is like, oh my God, you super freaks are everywhere. There's also, now that Dipper and Mabel in this story are now known as the Von Doom twins, they now have access to all that Doom tech as well. Like, they can just call, like, they actually, Doom sends a Doombot to assist them, and when Mabel gets a hold of the Doombot, like, Dipper's like, oh, this is great, we can, I now have a personal assistant, and Mabel's like, I have a new toy. So Mabel literally forces the Doombot to call itself Jeeves, and Jeeves is literally like taken by Mabel and her friends to be like, do makeup and carry their bags when they're shopping, stuff like that. And Dipper's like, Doom's gonna kill us when he finds out. So that was just a few ideas right there. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of these just random stories with the Gravity Falls crew, and what would be some of your stories for Marvel characters meeting the cast of Gravity Falls? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.